On a quiet road away from the skyscrapers of Dubai lies a school and therapy center, the Developing Child Center. I enter the gates and walk into a canopied courtyard with children running through the doors, while parents and caregivers wait in seating areas. They help the kids pack their bags, tie their shoes, and get them ready to leave or enter for their session. You can sense a cozy hominess to the school. I'm greeted by a kind receptionist who leads me to Raghida Ashkar's office. Before coming here, I had so many thoughts. In Dubai, individuals with special needs or disabilities are referred to as people of determination, a term that reflects the UAE's recognition of their achievements, abilities, and potential. While working in this field, Raghida's name often comes up, especially among families in Lebanon. So I was curious to sit down with her. Like me, she has a journey with neurofeedback therapy. And while I've taken a home-based approach, working with kids and families, I'm always excited to see how it's done in a clinic setting, where all the tools and gadgets are all under one roof. I have to admit, I was initially skeptical about these facilities and the risk of placing too much reliance on them to quote-unquote fix a child. But speaking to Raghida reassured me. It's not about the equipment and gadgets, it's about how you use them in order to achieve the child's potential. Progress can feel impossible. From having an autistic brother, to raising a deaf son with cochlear implants, or working with families as a neurotherapist, I've seen how overwhelming it can be to feel like nothing is changing. But life has taught me that growth is always within reach. Every brain can learn and adapt no matter the diagnosis, and believing in someone can shape their future. You see, you have a choice: to live a life weighed down by limitations, or to embrace a life filled with possibility. And I'm here to help you make that choice by sharing stories of caregivers and experts that have changed my life, the tools I wish I had known, and the conversations that have questioned my beliefs. I'm Lelua, and this is All Brains Grow.
Everybody has a story.
Yeah, and I want to hear yours.
Nothing around me was a trigger point to do, something like this. But I woke up, I have this empathy. It was like born, I just born, I think, with one more genetic combination that's called this kind of empathy.
Raghida Ashkar is a neuro-pediatric occupational therapist with a passion for helping others. That's been part of her since she was a child. Growing up in Beit Shbib, a village in Lebanon, Raghida was surrounded by people rebuilding their lives after the civil war, many of them living with physical disabilities. She felt this innate drive to assist others, whether it was pushing a wheelchair or just being there for someone who needed support. Seeing how rehabilitation could transform lives gave her a sense of responsibility to do her part, especially during post-war Lebanon. Raghida's work is all about helping people tap into their potential, whether it's adapting a wheelchair, helping kids with sensory challenges, or working on fine motor skills. She focuses on what someone can do, not what they can't do. As she puts it, she doesn't talk about disabilities.
He has potential. We're not talking about disability. We're talking potential 20%. Potential 30%. So always I'm saying the OT is like we are on a room. We have two doors. One is locked. It's really locked and with a glue. And we have another door open. We can open it. So why not use the other door? So we are using the other door, but we have capacity.
Mm-hmm.
He's neurodiverse, but he's hyperlexic. Let's use this hyperlexia reading to help him more improve in reading and writing. And in parallel, we can work on his behavior and his attention. But we have this door open. He can really be more high functional. So we're working on open door. What we have potential. That's why all our test is what he can do. And in parallel, what milestone he didn't acquire until his age.
So I have a question about that specific point. How much of what you know is in that door is shown to you by the child or the parent.
Yes, this is important. Usually we have a checklist. I mean, we're testing the parents, the environment at home. This is so important because our intervention is not only on one-on-one on our room.
Oh, great.
It's on our room, on the one environment, it's home. The third environment, it's either school or nursery or whatever social third environment. He can do one milestone one-on-one with me. He can't do it at home. He can't generalize.
Yeah.
So the most important that we have it in the three, at least, environment. Either we can say he can do it or he can do it. So at least he has to have this difficulty or this potential in three environments.
Okay.
1/3 or 2/3. Before we said we have this difficulty or we don't have this difficulty, we have this potential. So major at home, all our tests, it's checklist at home. How is doing this task at home?
And how much time do you spend, or maybe it's little, I don't know, trying to maybe convince a parent or a teacher or a therapist that there is potential in a child?
Okay. Sometimes the skills with the kids took like when we start walking in a car, us regular people. When we start driving a car, so we just, okay, we have to sing, I want to group one more, then whatever. I have to manage multitask at one time. So I can't even walk 1 meter.
Sure.
This is the praxia that everybody has it. And all the kids have this praxia or dyspraxia or apraxia. We're playing around all of this. It's related to something on the brain we call the corpus callosum. It's in the middle and he can relate it, the two right brain and left brain, and we all talk about the imbalance of the brain. So this is the motor for us. This is the mainly transfer the data between right brain and left brain. What we said about the kids said, okay, we have this skill, this milestone. If all this milestone, all this task, still not automatic or volunteer, he can do anything. Just to convince him that at least we have to manage to lead some of this activity to be more automatic. How to manage to add on another new task. To convince a parent, we have many steps. We have the step of denial. Everybody says, my kids, they came, he can do this, of course. I'm a mom, you're a mom.
Mm-hmm.
They don't want to see. Sometimes I'm doing the test for the mom, not for the kids. That's why I ask her, please leave me with him. I'm asking him, don't answer on his behalf. And it's normal. They don't want. Or sometimes they say, I don't want to hear the word. Please don't say it, even if it says autistic.
Listen, I'm sorry, I'm stopping you again, but I'm very happy to hear that because I've met a lot of therapists, whether OTs or not, in their clinics, and generally they're the shiny, nice clinics, and the parent is not part of the conversation. Home is not part of the conversation, and so there's always kind of a plateau to how much progress can be done, because if everything is done just in the clinic, so the fact that you keep talking about all of the other environments and the other key players is really nice to hear and very refreshing. We can't do it without
this. We can't. He can't generalize. We will stay. The process of evolution of the kids is like prerequisite, automatic, and generalization. If we're not interfering as well, or with the school or with the home, and this three environment, we will stay on one and the prerequisite. He will not be automatic. He will not be generalized. So the process is not complete. Even if it's coming, some kids, they are doing always intensive every day. We have kids coming here every day to do 2-3 hours of intensive therapy. I'm saying to the parent, even it's 2 only hours. He needs to repeat or to have like a whole program to sit, to do top table activity, to do this primitive reflexes. Let's say we can't do this, and we have to do play dates. If the parent is not really a member of this dynamic. Sometimes I said, if you're not involved, I can't do therapy.
But how are you forcing, in a way that is also sending the message of, a parent has to be involved, but also not forcing things at home that will then add more problematic behaviors and make the whole situation worse?
For me, the behavior comes from this non-structured environment or non-visual plan environment. okay, we can play on the floor, we can play on the kitchen, we can play laying down, all, but he needs to have a visual plan that if he's running around all the day, for example, without and giving whatever he wants, if he can't eat, he wants to eat, whatever, no structure, no routine. First of all, we can do it. One kid came with all this behavior. How to stop this behavior for me? How to stop this, to break this routine? If not, I have to break it with a structure, with a proprioception, with this weighted suit, for example, with many stuff that will start direct with the intervention, bottom up. I'm saying we're working top down. I need him to sit. Then later on, I will work on the sensory. I will top down what we need from a kid 3 years old. This, whatever is the diagnosis. Let's start with a milestone. I need this milestone. We'll adapt this milestone. He can't sit, we'll do this. He can't stand, we'll do this. We'll add our adaptation on the milestones that we have to require.
Mm-hmm.
We have the milestones, and we'll go back with the tools with many different activities. To convince him, we can't go without this is a problem, this is a potential, and this is a solution.
I like that framework. That's nice. Problem, potential, solution.
Solutions, they have to be a tangible solution.
Problem, potential, solution. It sounds straightforward, but delivering these truths to parents about their children is anything but simple. What sets Raghida apart is her ability to do this with empathy, a rare and invaluable skill shaped by her own personal journey. When her daughter, Adriana, was born, Raghida faced a difficult time. A complicated pregnancy left her constantly worried Adriana might develop cerebral palsy. For 2 years, she paused her career and her work as an OT to focus completely on her daughter. Hearing her story, it became clear to me why so many parents feel an instant connection with her. It's funny, my daughter now is 1, and Smallah, she's very advanced, and every day, I look at her, I'm like, this is weird.
This is weird. This is the weird thing.
I hate saying that out loud because it's so wrong to feel that way, and because we're so grateful, but it feels very yes. There's something wrong. It's not
to feel that.
Yes.
When we have something like normal, it's for me it was exceptional. She born without anything. It was a mistake for me. It was a mistake. It can. So I was like, no one can. All the kids can be with difficulties. Otherwise, it's the exceptional is the normal kid. For me, it was this kind of state. I was dealing with it for 2-3 years. That I decided after 5 years to get Karim, then Mark, and the full story. Alhamdulillah. They're all over the place, but it's normal. I'm working 12 hours. But I mean, we have to deal with all our challenges, this dilemma with us. That I'm seeing the irregularity everywhere, and for me, this is the life. Like you said, to do something. She walked at 1 year? No, impossible. She can't. I was relating everything to. I worked on myself for 2 years because I stopped practicing. Stopped everything. I opened a small gym for kids for 2 years. I stopped everything.
What got you back?
I said I can't, so I get back, and I know this is my goal.
Yeah,
I can't.
But sorry, I'm curious. What are you saying you worked on yourself for these 2 years?
Yes, I was being followed up with a coach to work because I was like, I can't see. I'm doing projection, everything on my daughter, on my kids, and all the kids. So I wasn't able to see positive, to see, that we have opportunity to deal with the kids or to work on these kids. And if I don't have this on the therapy, we can't play, we can't work. If I'm saying only that, for me, I'm thinking until now, but it's not the kids' deal, the parents, how they feel, how I want to tell them. For me, the big challenge, it's the intervention with the parent, not with the kids. With the kids, for him, it's egocentric. I'm normal. Everybody is turning around me.
Yes.
So for him, he's happy. And we're working to keep this self-esteem and comfort zone and to raise it up. But to adjust and to work on بيانات or this is a parent. How to
So now I know why people love you. It's because you worked on yourself.
Yes.
And you know what a parent
feels.
feels.
This is my all my mind is how to face a mom. Tell her on a I can tell you until now, I'm praying when I have a new consultation until now. I'm praying that please let him have no difficulties or minimum difficulties, and how to address the parent, how to face the parent, especially we have like sometimes we have a challenge in genetics, or how to face it, how with all we are trying to help him to see in all of this he can do it, and I want him to do it, or he will be able to do it. So this dynamic has to be installed. Otherwise, we can't, as a therapist, continue if we can't see the end of the road. Some moms come to tell me, I'm like in a tunnel.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know the end. Let me see the end. So we're laughing now with the parent. Okay, now what we're doing, we are seeing the end of the tunnel. The tunnel is small. As long as a tunnel, it's not like a whole life, or it's a small tunnel. Just we want to see the prognosis. I mean, the end of the whatever during the road, we can adjust.
On the topic of having success with patients, Raghida smiles as she tells me about a boy who started therapy at her clinic when he was just 2 years old. Now, at 17, he's come full circle, interning at the same clinic that helped him grow and supports others to reach their potential, just like he did. So what is success? What would you consider a successful session or a successful path or a successful outcome with the parents? I know it's a big word and everyone has different definitions for it.
Every milestone was a success. And he graduated from the nursery for us. He get accepted at school. He was like, oh my God, we achieved. Because how we know we achieved? He get accepted. He's interacting. He's social. He's the milestone, whatever. It's like to achieve it, and not with us, to be recognized not only from us, or to achieve every milestone, to get accepted at school, to get accepted on a college, to get accepted now in the university. So to transition and to feel every milestone get at the end and get success, and we've like it's a final for us. This is a success, even a small success. He went to the nurse. He didn't cry today for head. He didn't do a tantrum. Instead of 5 tantrums, he did 1. This is a success. Let's consider it as a success. Every single milestone to achieve the big success, that small success and small achievement to have the biggest one.
It's amazing. What is a common tip that you would have to give to parents to do what you're doing here back home? So from what I understood, you have some sort of home program that they have to follow. But to stay on that success conversation, sometimes I feel like as parents, when we have too many goals or one goal that is about the children, it can be really heavy to put a lot of expectations on the child. So then we kind of have to shift it and make it more about what me as a parent I can do. So do you also have tips and goals for the parent? So it's not just, the child has to work on, their walking, but parents, if they're not able to do that today, your goal of doing this exercise still means will be your success.
Look, we'll not put it on this frame. I can't put it on this frame. Like you said, sometimes kids, especially with the parents, are different.
Yeah.
They will not do whatever they are doing with me, will do with the parents. So even I will ask him to repeat. If they will not have the same behaviors or the same attitude they have it at home. Sometimes, yes, our goal will be delayed or will be take more time. The success is that when we convince the parent that at least let's do it 10 minutes per day. or do a structure of the home that remove what's parasite, what's behavioral parasite or behavioral attitude. So either give us this 10 minutes just to repeat or to tell to the kids that everybody's talking the same language, at least to let the kids understand that not even with at therapy with the or not even at school, even or not even in the third environment. Let's speak all the same language. There's a small. I usually I'm going the home program 1 or 2 goals, and it can't be every day. Sometimes 2 times. They can. Sometimes the parents are overdoing. I'm told them stop. He will do blockage. So either we have facing or the extremism that okay, let's do it 3 times a week, 3 times a day. No. 1 time.
Sure.
1 time, 3 times a week, just to figure it out how these kids can say, okay, everybody's talking the same language. So I'm sitting there, I'm sitting here, and I can sit at the nursery. So I can generalize this attitude. So to convince him that he needs to generalize and to talk the same language. And when we said even you or any other person at home can do this intervention, it will be okay.
For her, seeing a child succeed in a controlled environment is rewarding, but it's also heartbreaking when they struggle in the real world. Was there a specific time you saw a child with a parent and you're saying it got you emotional, and then you had to, what happened? You went and you spoke to the parent and you tried to convince them to do even more work? Like, is that what happens? You then talk to the parent after seeing that? Or no, it's just you continue on with the sessions and then it's just about not stopping it?
Not stopping the session, and if you understand that every after session the parents are waiting outside. So
they're never with you inside?
Some I mean, small kids with physical problem, with they with me. As long as it's not interfering with the behavior of the kids and not interfering with the functionality of the session, I'm okay. But to bond with the kids and to have this cut with the mom and to do this as independent, I prefer that. But I'm known that all the session can be recorded and sent to the parent. I mean, he did this. Look how he's doing. Oh, amazing! How he's doing sorting with you. He can do it at home. Simple tasks. Sometimes to prove as the parent that if he sit like this and if you have like a firm instruction with holding and handling technique, he can do it easily. So sometimes just to face them with proof that look, he can do it. Look, he look at me, stare on me with the eye contact like 5 seconds. Just to have this kind of transition with every time waiting outside to wait for what was the feedback. And always there's a positive feedback.
So that's your way of convincing, is
Exactly.
by showing
them he can do it, not tell them. We have proof.
So my last question, what do you think is the thing that is stopping that generalization? Or not one, obviously.
It can't be a general question. It can, depending on the case.
What have you seen most commonly?
So to stop generalization, it's that, like I said, we have this trigger of praxia. It can be everywhere, even with the bicofacial praxia, movement praxia, general developmental praxia. For me, to stop this is the repetition. Really, we have the neuroplasticity. We're dealing about neuroplasticity. As long as we know how to choose which pathway we are choosing. That's why we broke down any activity we have to do it. And we repeat it on another way, on many environment and on another way. This is the key of generalization. No way a kid can generalize unless he has a specific this regression, genetic disorder that, it will keep him on a plateau. Otherwise, nothing in a life he can stop a kid to generalize. Whatever, we have to choose our battles. Working top down, he has this potential, 20% potential, difficulty 80%. We're working on this goals first. Okay, we choose our goal. 1, 2, it can be 2 milestones. We keep repeating it, and on another way. The key is another way, another tool to work on this neuroplasticity. No way he can't generalize.
How nice to hear.
No way. No, for me, I once said, We don't have a reason, do not do it. Why? And no reason he can do it. So he can do it. The only reason that it's really genetic, it's not from it. Okay? Regression. And any syndrome, it can be regressed. Other way, no way he can do it.
I love that. Should we go around?
Yeah, sure. A small tour. Okay.
Yeah,
Yes.
It's a swing.
We ended our conversation with a tour of the center, starting with a colorful playground. We moved back inside, where we walked through various classrooms before entering her OT room, a space equipped with swings, wires, and a large cage called Spider-Man Intervention. Raghida emphasizes the importance of balance. One corner is enough to accommodate a neurodivergent child, not the entire house. Next, we visit a neuroscience room where a young girl works on a treadmill, surrounded by bright interactive screens. Raghida introduces her as like my daughter, explaining that she has visual and spatial dysplasia. We move on to a quiet sensory and visual therapy room, followed by a corridor of spaces for speech and occupational therapy, as well as a relatively new program called Brain X. When Raghida believes a child can do something, she doesn't give up until it happens. Her constant belief in every kid's potential is something we can all look up to and try to emulate. This was All Brains Grow. Thanks for joining us. You can head to allbrainsgrow.com/podcast for more resources and support. This show was produced and edited by Lina Fansa and myself, Leloa. Music by Blue Dot Sessions.